The moment the grid fails, the clock doesn't start at zero. It starts in the negative. Systems you depend on have already stopped working before you even realize something is wrong. Refrigeration halts, water pressure begins to decay, digital communication fragments, and within minutes, millions of people unknowingly enter a race they were never trained to run. The first 72 hours are not just critical, they are determinative. What happens in that narrow window defines survival outcomes, not because of dramatic events, but because of quiet, compounding failures that cascade beneath the surface. Most people misunderstand this phase as a waiting period, assuming help is imminent. In reality, it is the only period where you still have partial access to resources before they irreversibly degrade. The analysis begins with infrastructure dependency. Modern urban systems are designed for efficiency, not resilience. Electricity powers water treatment, fuel distribution, food preservation, and communication networks. When power is lost, these systems do not fail simultaneously, they fail sequentially. This staggered collapse creates a dangerous illusion of stability. For example, water may still flow from taps for several hours due to residual pressure in the system, leading individuals to believe supply is intact. What they fail to understand is that water treatment plants have already stopped purifying incoming supply, and contamination risk begins immediately. The misunderstanding here is subtle but deadly. Availability does not equal safety. Clear water is not necessarily potable water, and in a grid-down scenario, the absence of visible change masks the onset of microbial risk. The hidden science revolves around biological growth rates and environmental exposure. Bacteria such as E. coli can double in number every 20 minutes under optimal conditions. Without chlorination and filtration, water systems become vulnerable to backflow contamination, especially as pressure drops and external contaminants seep into compromised pipelines. This is not theoretical. It is a predictable outcome of pressure imbalance and infrastructure design. Evidence from disaster zones consistently shows that waterborne illness spikes within the first 24 to 48 hours following system disruption. The survival implication is immediate. Hydration remains a priority, but untreated water becomes a vector of incapacitation. In survival conditions, illness is not just a health issue, it is a mobility and decision-making failure. This leads to escalation. As individuals begin consuming compromised resources, the collective health baseline deteriorates. Symptoms such as dehydration, gastrointestinal distress, and fatigue reduce the ability to secure additional supplies or relocate if necessary. The system failure transitions from external infrastructure to internal human capability. At this stage, the first hidden principle of the 72-hour window emerges. Preservation of function is more critical than accumulation of resources. The goal is not to gather everything, it is to maintain the body's ability to operate under stress.